Hello, my friends. Welcome back to our study along of the World Order of Baha'u'llah, Selected Letters. Happy 2022. If you are joining for the first time, welcome. Linked below, you will find the launch video for this project to understand like who, what, when, where, why, as well as this document, this collection of letters by Shoghi Effendi, written to the Baha'is of the U.S. and Canada, mostly in the 30s. You'll find that linked below, as well as a study guide and a playlist for all of these weekly video readings leading up to today. This is a study along YouTube series of these letters. So we just started a new letter called The Dispensation of Baha'u'llah, written February 8th, 1934. And so last week, Shoghi Effendi was, among other things, discussing the transition from the heroic age of the Bahai Faith, the primitive age of the Bahai Faith, to the formative age, which will lead to the Golden Age. And we're getting into some really good, important stuff. And we're going to be jumping into paragraph 5. However, I want to fast forward just a little bit to paragraph 8 and read that, because I think it's where we're going in this section, and I think it's a really profound and important thing for especially Baha'is to hear and to read, and it really encapsulates why I'm doing this series, and probably why you're listening along and studying with me. So, paragraph 8 of the Dispensation of Baha'u'llah, Shoghi Effendi says, "To strive to obtain a more adequate understanding of the significance of Baha'u'llah's stupendous revelation must, it is my unalterable conviction, remain the first obligation and the object of the constant endeavor of each one of its loyal adherents." So to strive to obtain a more adequate understanding of the significance of Baha'u'llah's revelation. And obviously it's a big task, right? We're like striving to obtain a more adequate understanding, right? It's not something that's going to be easy or something that we're going to fully apprehend and say, I've got it all figured out. But to strive to obtain a more adequate understanding of the significance of Baha'u'llah's revelation essentially should be the first obligation and the object of the constant endeavor of each one of its loyal adherents. So it isn't like, well, I'm not on assembly, doesn't matter, or, oh, well, blah, blah. Each one. Strive, got it, you guys? I'm going to try not to look. Strive to obtain a more adequate understanding of the significance of Baha'u'llah's revelation, to be the first obligation. I'm cheating now. First obligation and the object of the constant endeavor. Yeah, of each one of its loyal adherents. Okay, I just want to make sure we got that. Continuing with that same paragraph 8. An exact and thorough comprehension of so vast a system, so sublime a revelation, so sacred a trust, is for obvious reasons beyond the reach and ken of our finite minds. We can, however, and it is our bounden duty, to seek to derive fresh inspiration and added sustenance as we labor for the propagation of his faith through a clearer apprehension of the truths it enshrines and the principles of which it is based. So again, our bounden duty to seek to derive fresh inspiration and added sustenance. So we have like spiritual inspiration and then we have like almost a physical nourishment. So as we go out to propagate the faith, as we go out to live the faith, as we go out to share the faith, as we go out to build community, as we go out to build the administrative functioning of the Baha'i community itself, that we derive fresh inspiration and added sustenance in these labors through a clearer apprehension. So our inspiration and our sustenance in our building and teaching and living work comes through a clearer apprehension of the truths it enshrines. A clearer apprehension. And, apprehension is an interesting word because it's related to comprehension, right? There's an element of understanding, but you also like apprehend a criminal, right? It's something that it isn't just like you've memorized your vocabulary words. It's like a deep in your body sort of understanding of something. These are my own words of apprehend. So a clearer apprehension, grasping, a clearer grasp of the truths enshrined in Baha'u'llah's revelation and the principles which it is based. Isn't that cool? So I want to focus on that, and we'll be getting back up to this point. I just wanted to speed up a little bit to set the stage for what we're reading today. Okay? But there's a lot to think about, you guys. Like, are we doing that? Striving to like constantly, more deeply, more clearly apprehend the truths enshrined in Baha'u'llah's revelation and the principles of which it is based, which we can only get from actually reading the writings of Baha'u'llah and the Bab. And then Abdu'l-Baha can help us understand, and obviously Shoghi Effendi is always there to help us understand and to remind us to go back and do that first thing, right? Paragraph 5. It is not my purpose, as I look back upon these crowded years of heroic deeds, to attempt even a cursory review of the mighty events that have transpired since 1844 until the present day, nor have I any intention to undertake any analysis of the forces that have precipitated them, or to evaluate their influence upon the peoples and institutions in almost every continent of the globe. The authentic record of the lives of the first believers of the primitive period of our faith, together with the assiduous research which competent Baha'i historians will in the future undertake, will combine to transmit to posterity such masterly exposition of the history of that age as my own efforts can never hope to accomplish. My chief concern at this challenging period of Baha'i history is rather to call the attention of those who are destined to be the champion builders of the administrative order of Baha'u'llah to certain fundamental verities, the elucidation of which must tremendously assist them in the effective prosecution of their mighty enterprise. The international status of the religion of God has thus far achieved, moreover, imperatively demands that its root principles be now definitely clarified. So the fact that the Baha'i Faith at this point in 1934 had received in many, many places official recognition as a faith, he's saying, Shoghi Effendi is saying, there's an imperative demand that its root principles be now definitely clarified. The unprecedented impetus which the illustrious deeds of the American believers have lent to the onward march of the faith, the intense interest which the first Mashal Askar of the West is fast awakening among diverse races and nations, the rise and steady consolidation of Baha'i institutions in no less than 40 of the most advanced countries in the world, the dissemination of Baha'i literature in no fewer than 25 of the most widely spoken languages, the success that has recently attended the nationwide efforts of the Persian believers and the preliminary steps they have taken for the establishment in the outskirts of the capital city of their native land of the third Mashral Askar of the Baha'i world, the measures that are being taken for the immediate formation of their first national spiritual assembly representing the interests of the overwhelming majority of Baha'i adherents, the projected erection of yet another pillar of the Universal House of Justice, the first of its kind in the Southern Hemisphere, the testimonies, both verbal and written, that a struggling faith has obtained from royalty, from governmental institutions, international tribunals, and ecclesiastical dignitaries, the publicity it has received from the charges which unrelenting enemies, both new and old, have hurled against it, the formal enfranchisement of a section of its followers from the fetters of Muslim orthodoxy in a country that may be regarded as the most enlightened among Islamic nations. These afford ample proof of the growing momentum with which the invincible community of the greatest name is marching forward to ultimate victory. So he will go on to talk about what I read in paragraph 8, how for this reason, as Baha'is, we need to be constantly nourishing and clarifying our understanding of Baha'u'llah's teaching from the source itself, the principles and the truths enshrined in Baha'u'llah's revelation, which is really the whole reason for this study along. All right, my friends, thank you so much. These videos come out every Friday, 2 p.m. Of course, YouTube is forever. Whenever you find them, it's great. Remember, this is a study along. There's a playlist, so you can literally listen audiobook style with a little study buddy chit chat to this whole book. I don't cut anything out. We're almost halfway, you guys. Almost. If you would like to support this channel, there's lots of different ways. You can like the video. That actually helps more people on YouTube find it. You can subscribe, which also boosts this channel on YouTube. And once I get to 1,000 subs, I can do live streams in real time, and we can interact, and that'll be super groovy. You can share this video and this channel with other people so that they can like and subscribe. And also linked below, I have a Patreon and a PayPal. I'm an artist. You can bring some beauty into your life, prints and originals. We have a Yamaha coming up. All right, my friends, until next time, I wish you the best for playing your unique part in making this world a better place. I'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.